Have you ever felt like your prayers are going unanswered, like you're waiting for a breakthrough that never seems to come? You're not alone. Millions of Christians around the world are searching for a deeper connection with God, but somehow it feels just out of reach. Imagine being in a situation where you're completely reliant on God for guidance, with no clear direction in sight. That's exactly what Abraham's servant faced when he was sent to find a wife for Isaac. But what if I told you that this ancient story holds the key to understanding how to tap into the power of the Holy Spirit in your own life? Let's delve into the biblical account of Abraham's servant. In Genesis 24, we read about how Abraham entrusted his servant with the task of finding a wife for his son Isaac. But what's fascinating is that Abraham didn't just send his servant off into the unknown, he gave him specific instructions and empowered him with the Holy Spirit. What does this tell us about the nature of faith and trust in God? Can we apply this same principle to our own lives, and if so, how? As we explore this story further, we begin to see the role of the Holy Spirit in guiding Abraham's servant. The servant prayed for guidance, and God answered his prayers in a remarkable way. But what was it about the servant's prayers that made them so effective? Was it the sincerity of his heart, the specificity of his request, or something else entirely? What can we learn from this example about how to pray effectively and hear God's voice in our own lives? But here's the question: what if we're not just talking about a historical event, but a spiritual principle that applies to us today? What if the same Holy Spirit that guided Abraham's servant is available to guide us in our own decisions and prayers? That's a pretty profound thought, isn't it? It raises all sorts of questions about the nature of faith, the power of prayer, and our relationship with the Holy Spirit. Let's hear from some biblical scholars who have spent years studying this topic. According to them, the story of Abraham's servant is more than just a historical anecdote, it's a blueprint for how to live a life of faith and trust in God. They point out that the servant's success was not just due to his own efforts, but to the empowering presence of the Holy Spirit in his life. So what does this mean for us, as Christians living in the 21st century? How can we tap into this same power and live a life of faith, trust, and obedience to God? As we consider the implications of this story, we're forced to ask some tough questions. What does it mean to truly trust in God, and how do we cultivate that kind of faith in our own lives? How do we balance our own desires and plans with the leading of the Holy Spirit? These are not easy questions to answer, but they're essential to understanding the deeper meaning of Abraham's servant and the Holy Spirit. So what's the takeaway from this story? How can we apply the principles of faith, trust, and obedience to our own lives, and what does it look like to live a life empowered by the Holy Spirit? Perhaps it starts with a willingness to let go of our own plans and agendas, and to trust in God's sovereignty and guidance. Maybe it means being more intentional about seeking the Holy Spirit's leading in our prayers and decisions. Whatever it looks like, one thing is clear: the story of Abraham's servant holds a deep treasure trove of spiritual insights and principles that can transform our lives. As we close this video, I want to leave you with a challenge. What would it look like for you to trust in God's sovereignty and guidance in your own life? What steps can you take today to cultivate a deeper faith and relationship with the Holy Spirit? Take a moment to reflect on these questions, and consider sharing your thoughts and insights in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more content on spirituality and faith. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore in future videos, please let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.